Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'ad. This is your brother Farhan Zubairi from the Institute of Knowledge in Diamond Bar, California. We're joining you here, not live, but on site in Nairobi, Kenya. We were part of a delegation called Scholars for Humanity, where Helping Hand for Relief and Development brought us on a humanitarian trip to see some of the amazing work they're doing here with orphans, internally displaced peoples, refugees, and children with disabilities. And I'm joined here by my beloved teachers and mentors and elders and colleagues and youngsters. We have Sheikh Nu'man Beg with us, who is the founder and the director of the Institute of Knowledge, and my teacher as well, and my mentor. We have Brother Shahir with us, who is on the board for YM, Young Muslims, which is an amazing organization that does work with the youth in America. And we have our Sheikh Jassy McKenzie, who serves as the manager or the director for the Skills Development Program here in Kenya. So we just want to hear from all of you regarding your experiences. There were 7 of us that came on this trip, and they divided us into 3 groups that went to 3 different locations in Kenya. So we'll start with Sheikh Nu'man. Where did they send you?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where did they not send me? That should be the real question. They sent me to 4 different places.
Okay.
Actually 5. From Nairobi, after we landed, within 4 or 5 hours, we took a local flight to the northernmost area of Kenya. It's called Lodwar.
This is northwest.
This is northwest.
Northwest.
Yes. About 120 kilometers south of South Sudan.
Okay.
About another 120 kilometers east of Uganda. So our first stop was Lodwar.
And you took an interesting flight.
I took an interesting flight for the first time on a propeller engine plane that seesaws up and down. And it felt like a roller coaster, to say the least. Nevertheless, we went to Lodwar for the mere reason to make it out to the Kakuma refugee camp. Mind you, I'm saying these city names very carefully and slowly because I've been trained on pronouncing them correctly. Like 50, 70 times by the locals.
So Kakuma is a refugee camp?
It's a refugee camp comprising of over 311,000 refugees.
311,000? That's an entire city.
Yes. From belonging to over 23 nationalities.
Okay.
And we went there particularly to visit the Sudanese refugees. As you may all know, the unfolding civil crisis, the political situation has caused many people to flee. And they're given safe passage through South Sudan, and they come down into Kenya, and they are gathered in the Kakuma refugee camp. So we met with them, their families, and we did a huge distribution there and had some shocking interactions and witnessed some extremely dire situations and circumstances, to say the least.
Can you describe like the refugee camp itself? Because our audience is mostly people in America.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are used to a certain type of like environment and lifestyle and kind of infrastructure. Yeah. So if you can just describe what a refugee camp looks like.
Yeah. First off, I would say that none of my brothers and sisters in the U.S. have ever seen anything like this before in their lives. I can just say that right off the bat. Secondly, these refugee camps are made up of wooden branch structures, and the framing is either with bed sheets, sheet metal, or just leaves. This was... I've visited a few refugee camps before. I've never seen anything like this one. And again, sanitation, huge issue there. Branches are made out to be wooden branch square structures with sheets around them for privacy purposes, and they are required to bathe and use them as toilets as well. So very extremely dire circumstances, something that I've never witnessed before.
It's hard to describe it in words what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm not the best describer of these things, but it really hits you witnessing that.
So you landed in Lodwa?
Lodwa, yeah.
So from Lodwa to the camp is how long?
Oh, that's like another 2.5, 3 hours
Drive.
drive.
And this is just like a freeway?
It's just 2-lane, one in each direction.
Yeah.
Our plane, I mean, there's barely any animal life there. Plant life is scattered. Human life that exists north of Lodwa is all refugees. Right? If you're going from Lodwa northwards, you're going there as a humanitarian social work type of person providing relief for the refugees there. That's the only purpose of going on that road, as I was told. We saw many UNHCR vehicles and all that. Yeah. And not to our surprise, there are certain missionaries,
Christian missionaries that are doing work
there as well.
That highlights the importance of Muslims being in that space.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are a lot of, I think we were discussing this earlier, there are a lot of perhaps missionary organizations that come and they kind of, because of circumstances, they're able to force people to convert to Christianity. So it's important for our institutions to be there and to help our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely,
we should be the first there.
Yeah, we should.
And this is a theme that actually came up in our previous conversation. That we're one global ummah. We're all brothers and sisters, and unfortunately that our brothers and sisters in Africa get neglected oftentimes. Oh. And it's important to remind ourselves that regardless of our ethnicities, background, language, colors, whatever, we're all part of that one global family.
Absolutely.
And we should be looking out even more for the people that are in need here.
Absolutely.
So what type of relief was the Helping Hand providing?
So I just mentioned to you the refugee camp, the food distribution that took place there, the sanitation projects at the refugee camps. Mind you, we also went to a few of the orphanages there as well. And we witnessed the orphan support program in action. And in addition...
This is not at the camp, though.
This is not the camp.
Okay, so after the camp, where did you go?
No, actually, the camp was the later part, which was the one that hit really close, the emotions really hard. Before that, because we were there for 2 days in Lodwa, and before that, right from the airport, we touched down, we went straight to the Skills Development Center, which was at a local Islamic center. We witnessed young men and women who were being trained as electricians. They were being trained as a lucrative business here in Kenya, which I'm coming to know about, cell phone repair technicians. And the young females there were being trained in cosmology. They were, doing henna, makeup, artwork and stuff like that. Again, these are otherwise young men and women, teens and above teens, probably in 18, 20-year-old people who would otherwise not be in school or can't afford college. So they're learning various vocation skills. Nice. And then we went to Al Noor Academy where the orphan support program was taking place. So I had a great time over there, gave a khatira to the young orphan children that were there, and met with the Helping Hand staff there as well. And then I also witnessed something that's a huge problem in the entire, I think they call it Turkana County, which is the scarcity of water. And not just the scarcity of water, but the water that is available sparingly there, it's too salty. So we witnessed the water filtration plant in action. Yeah. At Al Noor Academy.
It was filtering the salt water.
The salt water.
Making it potable and drinkable and things
exactly.
like that. Okay.
I think they call it, it was very saline or salinity.
Yeah.
I think.
Salinity level. Yeah.
Yeah, salinity level.
It's high.
The Rutger grad here knows about that stuff. So they were telling me all that. The good thing about this was it's not only providing water for the orphans there, but the neighboring communities, Muslims and non-Muslims, are benefiting from this water filtration plant.
And this filtration plant is at the school.
At the school, it's producing 45,000 liters of water every single day. And in addition to that, it's running on solar.
Oh, cool. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. I was really pleased to see that.
So there's some overlap in the kind of activity we experienced.
Yeah.
So Shahir and Sheikh Jassi and myself, we were sent to Malindi in Garson.
Mashallah.
And in Malindi, we also visited the Skills Development Center.
Right.
And as I mentioned, Sheikh Jassi is the manager director of that. So if you can just speak a little bit about that program and its importance and impact and what you saw.
Right. Of course, I'm biased, but I think it's the program that we really should be focused on.
Absolutely.
Because we say we want to teach people how to fish and not give them fish. We say we want to empower, and that's a powerful word, empower people. We say we want to develop. That's really where we should be focused. Future focusing, we need to get people on their feet. And one of the things, and I've been visiting here for the last 12 years or so, 10 years maybe, there's no shortage of talent. There's a shortage of opportunity.
Oh, man.
So it's amazing with a 4-month class. It was overwhelming. And I'm the one who oversees the director. But when I come, I get so motivated. It's hard to also describe. And also just to see, like even in America, a 4-month class doesn't change your life usually. It's much harder. But many of the beneficiaries were saying, that they got this opportunity and they were hungry, and once they got it, they were able to start their own business, which is something I would love to do one day. Maybe just a cafe, nothing serious, but they were able to start their own business, and many of them are now making 2 or 3 times above the poverty level.
Mashallah.
That's success. But I do encourage the audience to really, be future focused. And to be honest, Africa is a very challenging place in general in terms of just doing work because of the expense. Transportation, like you're talking about, is very expensive. A lot of things are very expensive. So what we need to do is to invest in the people, and the people are talented. I remember when I first came, the driver, and sometimes you may, say, oh, he's just a driver. This guy spoke 6 or 7 languages fluently. And when I interact with him, and many of the people I met on my first trip here to Kenya, I was highly, highly impressed. Seriously. And sadly, I had this mentality. And I'm an African-American coming, and I said, maybe I even belittled, but when I saw and I'm glad everyone is here and got the opportunity, there's no shortage of talent. We just need to really invest. So I'm very happy you saw, and I will hopefully, we can do something to highlight these success stories in the future.
Absolutely.
For the audience to understand, like these places we went to, they're not very developed areas.
No, not at all.
Like Malindi, I'm sure the city you went to, these look like places where there isn't much industry.
No, not at all.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of work.
Right.
I mean, they're hustling, bustling towns, like little towns, but they're very impoverished. There's a lot of poverty. So these skills that they're learning, they're actually benefiting them and their families and their friends. And it's like kind of uplifting the community that you have these people now who can actually start their own business and, start earning and support themselves and their families. So if you want to speak of maybe one of the success stories that we saw.
Yeah, subhanAllah. I think a lot of the success stories that we've seen were from the Skills and Development Program. And one that especially touched me was the innovative skill that a lot of these students had, where they first started kind of in electronics and just like that initial skill that they were taught in. But then they just have this vigor, they have this zeal, they have this drive to do more. And so one brother we saw, he had this electronics store, but then he started scaling to printing and passport services. Then he says he wants to open a second location, subhanAllah. And then even aside from the skills and development, another thing that kind of took me aback was when we went to the children with disabilities programs in that space as well. And the mothers, they would tell us that they have this child, and one child, his name was Muhammad, and they say that, he couldn't put on his shoes. He couldn't do these small actions that we take for granted first. So alhamdulillah, we're able to do those things. And secondly, the mother says that because of Helping Hand, because of the consistent investment that Helping Hand put in their children, now he can walk, now he can run, and then now he can take Quran classes, and now he can, recite the surah. And so to me, that was just really, really beautiful. And that is the impact that is life-changing. And so when these people that have been affected by such calamities, they see the Helping Hand logo, they don't see something that, is just like put to the side, but this is a logo of survival. It's a logo that means like their life to them. So subhanAllah, those were two stories that really meant a lot to me.
Wow.
And I think those success stories, like we went to a graduate from the skills development program. He started his own cell phone repair shop. They went to another place where he opened like a cyber cafe, printing like books, stationery. They went to the sister. She had like a little beauty salon, and I think she expanded to selling like purses and clothes. And
right. One thing I want to mention too, and I'm glad Sheikh Nu'man mentioned this about the missionaries, and I see they're about doing the work. They are in remote places, and so us donating show that we care, and people recognize that.
Yeah.
People see that, like, wow, you came and you traveled, you put yourself through this, and people appreciate that. At least we can do something, even from your house. I mean, just sending this donation, trust me, people feel it, and that's something we should do. And one other thing, and this is no exaggeration, every place I have been to visit skills development in particular, before they thank us for the food that we provide and for the skills and for all these other things and the jobs that they may have gotten, because we try to teach them some soft skills, some business skills, and other things as well. And some we're able to provide food. But what they say is, you showed me something, and I've seen this, and they say it in a different way every place, that I didn't see. You gave us confidence. You gave us hope. Because many of these people were dropouts. Many of the people, they just sat at home. Many of the people, that they said, why even try? There's one person who took a class, and he was paralyzed, and he just took the class. He heard about the opportunity. And he was a young guy, used to play soccer, very healthy. He lost his ability to run and to play. And so he said it was hard for me to get out of the bed. He said, this class that I took is what changed me around. So everybody started like, wow, this class, this changed my life. This saved me. This class, which probably was $100 and something class. And you would think like, that's what rescued you? He said, this. And I believe him. But anyway, the part is we're giving people confidence. And one last thing, it was here, I remember in Kenya, where one of the teachers said, these girls, they come from the slum here, and they're, they see themselves, they have this complex. No, they couldn't even lift up their faces or look you in the eye. She was saying, this is the first thing, an intangible thing that I think you are giving. And
self-confidence.
That confidence. And confidence is... It's valuable.
It's a powerful tool.
So, I mean, again, we shouldn't belittle anything that we do. And you may not just be investing and empowering them, but you could be doing something much further, more profound.
So our group, we came to Nairobi, and then we flew to Malindi. Same thing, the propeller. First time on that. Mashallah. And the seats were not like normal seats, and myself and Imam Fatin were sitting next to each other. So we were sharing seats.
I think you guys were spilling into the aisle.
Yeah, this is my first time on the first flight we took. The first time ever, the belt didn't close.
No way.
I mean,
that's a problem.
And maybe
it was a small plane.
In addition to the seesaw, maybe
it
was tilting.
We caused some of the turbulence.
Yeah.
We had this joke. And drive, for some reason, Malindi has these huge speed bumps. And every time the van would go over, it would scrape. So I think me and Imam Fatim, so we have to sit on opposite sides of the car. SubhanAllah. So we got to Malindi, and we saw the donors' money in action. Right? And I think a lot of people, especially back home, they're very skeptical of relief orgs.
Right.
There's just this like built-in skepticism, like, where does our money go? Is it really making an impact? What's happening?
Right. Exactly.
And I think this trip, it really allowed us to see where people's money is actually going.
Yeah. Right. On that point, something that I witnessed, and I confirmed this, alhamdulillah, with me, You guys were, mashallah, 3 musketeers, a trio doing the work. I was by myself.
We had Imam Fatin too.
Oh, yeah, Imam Fatin. You guys rolling deep, mashallah. I was a one-man guy. And I had Musa Ibrahim. He's the director of Helping Hand Africa. And whenever I went there, I saw local staff there.
Yeah.
So I asked him, hey, these guys didn't come with us. Who are these people? Because they had the whole Helping Hand gear on and everything. He goes, Sheikh, one thing we do, and we do it not just because that this is the donors' contributions and everything, but for our own ease and sake, we make sure that wherever we are doing projects, that we have local staff and management on the ground there. Yeah. So it's not just that they're giving the money off to the beneficiaries. No, they're actually seeing those donations through. And that process of verification, check and balance, I really like that. Actually, that was very. It made me more confident, and that's why.
Same thing in Malindi. They had a staff there, and the unique thing about the staff is like it seemed like everyone was really like vested in what they were doing.
Yeah,
they were very passionate about it.
Yeah, the word I want to use is that. The staff was relational.
Yeah.
They had relationships
Everybody,
with the local beneficiaries.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't just touch and go.
No. I saw that in the refugee camps and all the other places that I went to as well.
Same thing.
Yeah. In Malindi, we saw like the field officer Abu Bakr, where we'd go to places, he would know the orphans, he would know the women, he would know the tribe leaders.
Absolutely.
They all trust Helping Hand. They all trust the people that they see. And so subhanAllah, that was amazing to see.
Yeah.
And maybe just one other point I do want to highlight, and especially for my colleagues, I have to go back and talk to the other managers from different programs. We did see a healthcare program. I think they said a level 2 clinic, which was very, very impressive.
Wow. It was very impressive.
So you can imagine, we were dealing with internally displaced people in one area, and also the local people, which they didn't have many services that we were providing. They couldn't, and people were coming from far away. So we're providing, lab tests, providing medicine and checkup. So this was something, again, we may belittle it, but was unique, but also very, very, very valuable. Very valuable, very valuable. I mean, you're literally saving lives and investing in people, and many of them were pregnant or had serious illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes. It's hard for us to manage that in the West. So something that even though, again, I'm very familiar with it, and I work with the other program staff. We're in the program department, but still, just seeing it, and all the program managers, they always want to go to the field. Send me to the field. Send me, because you come back,
recharge,
pumped up, recharge, full, overload, ready to go.
We drove from Malindi to a place called Garson. It's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour drive.
Yeah,
and the drive from Malindi's like coastal area.
Yeah,
it's like a beach area.
Yeah,
it's really humid and hot. But when you're driving, it's really green. Yeah. So as you're driving, it's like beautiful green, a lot of farms. Yeah. You saw like herds of sheep and goats, and there's some cows. Yeah. But then like as soon as we went to Garson, the landscape changed. Wow. It became dry all of a sudden. Oh. Like completely dry land. So the IDPs, the internally displaced people, they were in these dry spots. And they had a mobile clinic set up. I think they're saying they do about four a month.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, they do 4 mobile clinics a month where they just like set up a tent in these like remote areas, and people come from about a 10-kilometer radius just to get like that screening, to get a checkup, to get their blood pressure checked and get medicines and be seen by a doctor. That was something amazing. That when we saw that in action, that all these people from 10-kilometer radius having access to free medical care. Right. And then like, again, for the audience, it's hard to describe like what you're seeing. Like you are going in a remote area where there's no infrastructure, there's no buildings. People are living in literal huts, like huts that are made out of straw, maybe some twigs, maybe some mud, like typical, like stereotypical. If you think of like National Geographic, like showing like Africa, that's what you would imagine. Right, that you're in there and there's people living there, and they're getting this free medical care, and then also the water. A lot of the people that were there live by a river, but they're saying because there was a flooding, it destroyed their crops, it destroyed their livestock,
Yeah.
So they just had to come to these dry patches,
Exactly.
and they don't have access to clean water.
Yeah.
Something that we take for granted. I mean, we don't even think about water as a blessing because it's so abundant. You just go to the tap, you have cold water at your fingertips. These people don't have access to any clean water. So we saw the distribution of like a water truck with clean water, and like the entire village and surrounding area, they brought their like canisters eager just to get water that would last them. Like, I forgot the exact, but it's something unimaginable.
Right. And they're very heavy.
Very heavy.
Very heavy.
Very heavy. SubhanAllah, we're kind of like making fun of ourselves, like, carrying like maybe 5 liter, 3 liter maybe.
It went up to 11. The ones that was,
The big yellow ones, like about 11.
Yeah.
About 11.
We carried them. It's a bit of a struggle. And then, the sisters, mashallah, just pick them up like it's nothing and just like walk to the tents.
Let me show you.
This is not my first rodeo.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it was beautiful to see that.
Even the doctors, like when we asked them, like, what are the most common things you see? They would say urinary tract infections, right? Because of lack of water.
Lack of water.
Yeah.
That's something we take for granted. And then we when we went back to Malindi, then the next day we saw their clinic and the center for children with disabilities. And I think that was one of the most unique programs, at least in terms of like the medical services. That you're already a impoverished community, you're already a neglected community, and then on top of that, you have an extra challenge of a disabled child.
Right.
And for them to come and provide like free occupational therapy, physical therapy, to get those children to at least start doing some basic functions was amazing. Right. It was very beautiful to see, very heartwarming to see.
No doubt.
Then they had a full clinic, free of charge. That they had a lab to get all their like basic tests. Then they had a pharmacy, and the doctor all in one. It was amazing. It was amazing to see all that. So people's money is being put to use. It's being put to work. It's being put to work.
Yeah.
So I guess we can kind of wrap up if everyone can just share maybe a reflection, something that they found to be very meaningful, profound, personal reflection, and maybe a quick message to the audience back home.
Well, from Lodwar and Kakuma, I went to El Dured airport, and then we went for another 3 hours to a city very close to the Ugandan border, about an hour away. It's called Mumias. And there we visited a Muslim school. Again, lots of orphans, widows, elderly. And what was really endearing to me is as I was walking under the sheet metal tent, the food, the bicycles that we were going to be distributing, the hygiene kits were there that we were going to be distributing was on the grass, but they had everybody sit under the shade because it was really hot. So when I went there, I was called towards the middle of where everybody was sitting, and all of a sudden this elderly lady, she starts singing. And then all the elderly women, they stood up and they started singing, and they were singing to me. And then, they told me, hey, why don't you record it? Because you're going to remember this. And what they were singing was, we can't be happy until and unless our guest is received with happiness.
Beautiful.
Right? And they don't even speak Swahili there. I learned later on the language they were singing in was called Wanga.
Okay.
And
it's like a local tribal tribal dialect.
Yeah, there's a history about Mumias.
Okay.
It was run by a king. It's still a kingdom. It has no authority, unfortunately, but there's still a king. There's royalty there and stuff like
but
that.
It's just been like annexed into Kenya.
Yeah, it's something unique,
Okay.
I was looking it up, how they converted to Islam and stuff like that. So one thing that touched me was that there was a bicycle distribution, a sponsorship, part of the orphan sponsorship program. And there was this girl, 10 to 12 years old. Her name was Zulfa. And I was told that she commutes on foot 5 to 10 kilometers a day. And for her to come to the school, she crosses a river. And when that river overflows, it overflows so much so where the whole pedestrian route is all muddied.
Yeah.
So she has to take another route, which doubles her commute to school and back.
Just to get to school.
Yeah. And that was the purpose of giving her a bike. So she could have a more convenient, easy, and quicker commute to school as a sponsored orphan. And not only that Zulfa was so touched, I didn't know what I was getting into. She invited us to her home. And then we went by car 5 kilometers away. And then they said that we have to walk from here.
Yeah.
And I said, how far? He goes, well, just going to cross the river. And her home's right there. And, the cameramen were like, hey, it's just right there, right there. I'm like, okay. So we went to the river. It was a pretty...
I saw the video.
You saw the video?
You said the video. You actually crossed the river.
Yeah, in a wooden boat.
Yeah.
And the current was kind of tough and
Yeah.
rough, right? But I made my dua, and alhamdulillah, we made it to the other side. And once we got off, and I asked again, hey, where's the house? And, said, it's right there.
here.
And I'm like, okay, right there. It ended up being a 25-minute trek, right? And you know something? The only reason I made that was because of Zulfa. He said, Sheikh, you have to come. Sheikh, you got to come. She kept on going like this. I said, Zulfa, how much more do we have to go? She's like, longer. So it was her sister, and her mom. And her mom's holding one of the food distribution bags that we gave her. I kid you not, when I was handing it out, it was so heavy for me, right? Probably 25 kilos on her head. Zulfa and her sister were carrying buckets and the hygiene kits. And I'm just walking and I'm struggling, I'm hyperventilating. I'm like, and
it's hot.
It's hot. Oh, hot. They sent me to the hottest route, So we got there and I'm telling you, the smile I saw on Zulfa's face, it made that whole trek
worth it.
Yeah. And, I told Zulfa to raise her hands and make dua for us. And, we have some sick people in our community that are going through brain surgery today and they're going through another procedure in the hospital. So I told Zulfa, raise your hands and make dua. I told her to make dua for all the Muslims in America. And we made a promise and a commitment to Zulfa. And the commitment we made to Zulfa was that, Zulfa, if you continue your hard work through your primary school to secondary school, inshallah, we will sponsor your college.
Inshallah.
And she wanted to become a nurse.
Oh.
So my appeal to all my brothers and sisters back home in the U.S. that are watching, I witnessed your contributions, your generosity, your donations in action. And I saw at least 4 to 5 programs in action. And I was so compelled, we donated ourselves. And I encourage you all, whatever is endearing to you, if it's the widow support program, the orphan support program, if it's the skills development, the water filtration, the water boring projects, the water well projects, the disabilities centers, the health clinics, whatever it is, give with confidence, knowing that your donations are reaching 1,800 miles away in the most rural areas of Kenya. Right? And at that Muslim school in Mumias, that brother, the imam found out we were there, and he said that, you guys are the only Muslim charity NGO that is coming here to our school. So please do what you can from that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed and graced you with. This is my personal appeal to you after bearing witness and seeing everything firsthand.
Jazakallah khair, that was beautiful.
Yeah, go.
I think one reflection that I have is when we got to Garrison, 2 hours from Malindi. So I think when we were approaching there, I didn't know what to expect, what it would look like. And so we took, a turn. It turned to be a wrong turn. We went to, a village. And then we got directions from one of the elders, and alhamdulillah, he directed us in the right way. And so we're approaching the medical camp, and you see like this line of children, right? 20, 30 little kids, right? And so we get out of the car, and, this is my first time doing this, so I don't know what to do. And so I see Sheikh Fatin. Sheikh Fatin starts giving salam. So, what? Why not I give salam too? And so I start giving salam, and it feels like Eid, right? And so all these kids, you want to come up, shake my hand. And, I didn't know Swahili or, they didn't know English. So I just say, Alhamdulillah. And I say, Alhamdulillah, right? And so that was kind of my indication that they were doing good. And just like the smile on their faces And sometimes like you'd feel like they want to give salam, but they would hesitate a little bit. Then they'd come closer and then I say salam, then they come in and then giving them candy. But, and they're there because their parents are there seeking medical attention from Helping Hand, or even their parents are seeking medical attention for them, but maybe they don't know themselves that they're sick, but their parents know. And so I was reflecting, even like as kids, honestly, they don't have a worry in the world.
Yeah.
They're just out there, they're laughing, they're having fun. You know, as their parents are getting checked out, as they're getting checked out, they want to run around, they want to play with their toys, they want to play sports, whatever it is. And I reflect on my own childhood, what issues did my family have that my parents shielded from me. But subhanAllah, the work that their parents are doing to give them such ease and such calm in their life is something that I cannot imagine. So it's just something that I reflected on that I was really grateful for, seeing all their smiles. And, I have a picture of just them all sitting together. I wish I took a selfie with them so I can, be with them and remember their faces as well. But subhanAllah, that was something I really remembered. And so my message to the American Muslim youth, as being on behalf of here for YM, is that a lot of times, so I actually took over like the YM Instagram for this trip. And so I was taking pictures and videos. And so, people would reach out, they'd be like, oh, how can I go on like this relief trip? How I can do this, how I can do that. And, I was also asking the staff of like, how can we support, how can American Muslim youth support this effort? Or what are the challenges that they face? And honestly, the challenges are not manpower, right? We don't need to fly out 50 people to Kenya to do any sort of relief work or anything. None of that at all. The challenges that were mentioned were really financial, that there's no room in the budget to sponsor X amount of orphans. There's no room in the budget to make this well that will service 20,000 people, like the borehole wells, right? And so my message to the youth, if you don't have deep pockets, right? My message simply is to set aside some amount of money every month that you can just give, right? Fi sabilillah, like you don't think about it at all. You need to set aside that money. This is not like a suggestion. It has to be done. And it'll uplift communities, because I think we were saying that to sponsor one orphan is $60, right?
That's it.
SubhanAllah. And I think that's very attainable for many youth. The second thing that I would suggest to our youth is that there has to be a culture of relief work, of doing volunteering, of
service,
yes, of doing that from a very young age. That when we look at our schedules and when we do planning, whether that's for trips or anything, we should look at our schedules and think that this one weekend I'm going to go to this food pantry consistently, right? Not just doing it once and putting a story about it, but you're doing it consistently. The people know you. Absolutely. Even when you see Helping Hand events in your community or any other organizations events, like you go and you support them. But this is really critical because, if you say that you have a week to go to Kenya or a week to go to Jordan, why can't you take out one day, from a weekend every month and commit to that? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us for our intention. And I think that's the biggest part to the youth. So that is my appeal to you all, inshallah.
Beautiful.
And even I've seen some youth who may not, like you said, have deep pockets. They put together their own GoFundMe or crowdfunding or something where they tap into people who do have deeper pockets. My reflection, I guess, would be, it always amazes me to see how humans in general, when things are tough, we bond together. And it really does give you hope. So we saw how people would help each other out. Even though you think everyone would be at each other's neck, we heard stories about one lady would babysit her neighbor's children so that she could go to the clinic. Then the next time it would reverse. You saw a lot of cooperation, teamwork. And we're hear this theme a lot, this theme of ummah, this theme of we have to see ourselves as one. And this is something that we should learn. We're one. And some of them are from different tribes, different this, different that, different families.
It doesn't matter.
But in order for us to survive and thrive, we have to unite and work together. And we see this, I'm from the South, so we have hurricanes, tornadoes, all these different things. You guys have the fires, but earthquakes. Sorry, California.
I love protect.
I mean, but so there's something that we know we need to do, and hopefully we won't have to be down on our knees and in difficult time to really realize that we have to unite or see the things that are unfolding. in order to unite. But this is something that I really want us to think about, that we can. We just talked about the youth. They can play a part. People, you don't have money, you can do something.
Everyone can contribute.
And just show your concern. It's something that you can do. And one last thing I would say as for my appeal to the audience is, again, I work for the Skills Development and Livelihood Program, so I'm biased. But I can say it's one of the programs that are suffering despite this a purely developmental program. We struggle every year and we're at a deficit every year for the skills development program. Also, surprisingly, educational support program needs help, and we know what it can do. And a youth empowerment program. These three really, all of them need, and there's a lot of need. But I mean, in conclusion, and many donors do this. They do have something that is near and dear to them, something that they like, but they'll say, where's the most need? Right. Where can I make the most impact? How can I? So that is something beautiful. And even though you may be sacrificing, but I think if we do that, then we could have a more comprehensive help. And so I really appeal to them to ask about where is the most need and the areas that need the most need, so we can bring everyone up, inshallah.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
No, I'll just end with one final reflection is that, subhanAllah, when we were with the water tank and giving people clean water, they asked us to make dua for them. And then we visited another place where they had a collapsible water tank. Right. And then we asked them to make dua for us. And they were very generous, mashallah. I don't know if you guys noticed when we went there, the elder, especially the auntie, she brought chairs for us to sit on. Right, even though they don't have anything there, they just brought out chairs so at least we could be sitting. It was very beautiful to see that. Very beautiful. Like they have nothing, but they had that hospitality. So I think that's something that all of us need to develop in our hearts, is that selflessness. Yeah. Right. That idea of just infaq fi sabilillah, just spending in the path of Allah, whatever it may be. So barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless all of you. May He bless your families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this effort of yours. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless a helping hand and allow it to grow and prosper and be of service to even thousands of more people. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to take work from all of us in our communities, inshallah.
Inshallah. Ameen.
Jazakumullah.
Jazakumullah khairan.